Assalamualaikum dan selamat sejahtera. Hai semua. Selamat datang kepada semua guru-guru, para pelajar dan pegawai Assalamualaikum dan selamat sejahtera. Hai semua. Selamat datang kepada semester 2 2022. Para pelajar dan pegawai Banusha dan selamat sejahtera. Hai semua. Selamat datang kepada program kita akan bermula sebentar lagi bersama rakan-rakan yang lain untuk sejahtera. Hai semua. Selamat datang kepada kepada pelajar-pelajar yang masih belum join grup Telegram, boleh join di link yang disediakan bagi mendapatkan info terkini dan bahan-bahan perkongsian sepanjang program Skor A STPM semester 2 ini berlangsung. Terkini Assalamualaikum dan selamat sejahtera kepada pelajar-pelajar yang menghadiri program JOM Skor MUET STPM semester 2 2022. Program ini merupakan program kerjasama antara YPC International College dengan Kolej Tingkatan 6 DESA MAHKOTA dan Jabatan Pendidikan Wilayah Persekutuan. Anda bersama saya hari ini, Cik Fatin selaku pengurusi majlis pada hari ini. Adik-adik boleh dengar suara saya dengan jelas ke? Okey, baik. Bersama-sama dengan kita pada pagi ini adalah yang berusaha Encik Muhammad Yusof bin Ibrahim, Pengetua Kolej Tingkatan 6 DESA MAHKOTA, Puan Aisyah Banu, Penolong Kanan Takbir dan Akademik, Puan Masnita binti Abdul Ghani, Penolong Kanan Hal Ehwal Murid, Barisan Jawatan Kuasa Guru-Guru Kolej Tingkatan 6 DESA MAHKOTA. Dan juga Dr. Farah, Pengarah Urusan YPC International College, Kaunselor Akademik YPC dan para pelajar yang dihormati sekalian. Sebelum memulakan agenda utama kita, suka untuk saya ingatkan beberapa perkara terlebih dahulu. Yang pertama, pastikan mikrofon dalam mood senyap kecuali jika anda mempunyai sebarang soalan. Pinkan nama wakil yang akan berbicara sebentar lagi untuk melihat slide perbentangan. Misalnya, kalau saya sedang bercakap, adik-adik boleh pinkan nama saya untuk tengok slide perbentangan dengan lebih jelas. Seterusnya, pastikan adik bersedia bersama buku catatan untuk mencatat isi-isi penting. Dan yang terakhir, sebarang pertanyaan boleh terus bertanya di ruangan cek dan semasa Q&A. Baiklah, bagi memulakan program kita pada pagi ini, saya menjemput Pengarah Urusan YPC International College iaitu yang berusaha Dr. Farah Robert untuk memberi sepatah dua kata. Dengan segala hormatnya, dipersilakan.
Thank you Miss Fatin. Can all of you hear me? If you can hear me, can I get some reaction, maybe a smiley face or a hello in the chat box? Great, so I see some hands there. Thank you. So we will start now, yeah? A very good morning and a warm welcome to Datuk Dr. Noel, Principal of YPC International College, Encik Muhammad Yusof, the Principal of Kolej Tingkatan 6 DESA MAHKOTA, the Organising Committee, our two speakers for today, Cikgu Banusha and Cikgu Jaspal, and not forgetting students from all over Malaysia, as well as Team YPC International College, who's joined us today. The JOM Skor STPM program is launched in collaboration with Kolej Tingkatan 6 DESA MAHKOTA and JPWP with one objective, students, which is to help all of you to score in your STPM examination. The first subject is MUET. As all of you are aware, MUET is important for entry into university. But most importantly, students, when you prepare for your MUET exam, think of it in the long term. Being proficient in English will also help you in your studies when you progress to higher education after SPM, and most importantly, in your future career as well. We would like to record our sincere thanks to our two excellent teachers for today, Cikgu Banusha and Cikgu Jaspal, for their commitment and sharing of knowledge in today's seminar. I hope that students who are here with us, whether you are on Zoom or on YouTube, please don't be shy to ask questions. You can also post your questions on YouTube and the teachers will answer it, all right? If your friends are not here yet, please invite them to join because today would be a very fruitful session for all of you. Today, we've also invited one of our senior lecturer, Puan Gan, who will share with you about your opportunities after STPM and the benefits that you can gain from a world-ranking university. Let these benefits and prospects for your future career be a motivation for all of you to study hard and to push through for your STPM. Over to you, Puan Gan.
Thank you, Dr. Farah. So I hope all of you can hear me clearly. I'm Gan from YPC International College, and it is my pleasure to introduce to you one of our most popular program here in YPC International College. So as I know that many of you are STPM students, so here we would like to present to you after completing your STPM, then you will be able to enroll into our UK recognized degree, which is the business management program. The whole program is actually designed by the UK team, and then the curriculum that you are going to learn in this program will come from the UK, and we provide a lot of opportunities for the students to interact, also to join the programs to build a global network. So most importantly, this UK degree is awarded by Liverpool John Moores University, and after you have completed your STPM, in 3 years' time, you will be able to get a UK cert, UK degree. So if you are interested in this particular pathway, or you would like to explore further opportunity for this pathway, you are more than welcome to contact us, and also to talk to us to get to know more about it, because other than business management, we also have the other programs such as accounting and finance, multimedia computing, as well as e-business technology and management. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to just provide you a little bit of information. So without further so now I would like to introduce our teachers today who will be conducting the session for us. So for the MUET topic today, we have invited 2 teachers. The first session will be conducted by Cikgu Jaspal from College Tingkatan ENAM DESA MAHKOTA with 22 years of teaching experience. Let's welcome Cikgu Jaspal. Over to you, Cikgu Jaspal.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Gan. I hope everyone can hear me clearly. All right, so a very good morning. Thank you, Ms. Fatin, the MC for today. A very good morning to Dr. Farah Robert, the CEO of YPC, and also Ms. Gan, the senior lecturer. Thank you very much for giving us an opportunity. All right, I'm going to share my screen now. Can all of you see the slide clearly? Can I have some feedback, please? Yes, all right, good, thank you. All right, now I want all students to pay attention. As you know, and as it was mentioned earlier, that there are 2 parts, 2 parts to MUET. And the first part for task 1 is email writing. Okay, so I will go into that. All right, as you can see, the weightage for this paper is actually 25%, and the time given to you to answer this question is 75 minutes on the whole, right? And the maximum score is 90 marks. For task 1, you will be awarded 30 marks, and for task 2, 60 marks, right? So there are 2 questions. You're aware of that, I'm sure. You have task 1 and task 2. I will be focusing on task 1, where the probability of you getting a question in an email form is higher, but also be prepared for a letter, okay? So there are times where the question is in the email format, or sometimes it's also a letter. Now your task is to reply to that email or letter, right? And you have to write at least 100 words, okay? And for task 2 later, Puan Banusha will be explaining further, and so you will understand on that as well, okay? So let me just focus on task 1 for today. Now, there is a main focus, okay? Look at the main focus first. There are actually 2 parts, One is the task fulfillment, and the other one is language and organizational pattern, which I will come later. Now, let me start with the first part first. For you to get marks, good marks for task fulfillment, you have to make sure that you understand the task, all right? You have to understand the task. whether it is an email or a letter. Obviously, you know, right? There's different format for both parts. And you have to be very careful because when you write an email, the tone of the email is always in an informal manner. Okay, so you have to be careful on the language. I will show you some examples later so that you understand. Okay, and when you write a letter, if you look at the way a letter is written, it is more formal. So be mindful of the language that you use, right? That is the first thing, that you have to understand the task. Now, number 2, read the questions properly. Okay, now students, when you get the question, always read properly, even the rubric. Even, you know, you have a question, read every part of it. Yeah, read every part of it before you actually zoom into the email proper. Okay, so read everything, read the instruction carefully, and then you read the question, and then you move on to the email or the letter. Now, if it is an email, so be careful of who is the sender, because when you write, you are going to address it to the right person. Okay. Then you don't forget your greetings. Now, a lot of students tend to forget greetings. You think that it is not important. For example, hi. Now you need to address, you need to address the person. If it is mentioned, the name, right? If the names are mentioned, then you have to be careful. For example, you have to start by giving your greetings as in, hi, Amanda. Okay, so that is very important. So don't forget on the greetings. Address to the correct person. Okay, that is what is meant here. Now, also, when you write an email, you will see notes on the side. Okay, now when you see the notes, those are not just words. Okay, you need to elaborate. You need to elaborate clearly. And when you elaborate, think about why, how, and describe. Now, here is where general knowledge will actually help you, right? So if you have some information, for example, if they ask you for 2 events, so you must think about 2 events, okay? So if you have good general knowledge, the ideas will come, yeah? And remember to write at least 100 words or more, slightly more, probably 115, but not too long, because email is usually straight to the point, okay? Now write in appropriate style, okay? Like I mentioned earlier, if it's email, you have to write the from and the subject. And if it's a letter, you have to write the address and the date. So these are the important elements which you cannot forget. Now, next, use suitable and proper expressions. Yeah? See, when you write an email, you use different kind of expressions. And when you write a letter, it is more formal, right? So if you are writing an email, you can say like, I am doing great, you know, hope to meet you real soon, looking forward to attend your camp. I wish you could join us. So you get expressions like this, which are more informal, okay? And when you reply to a letter, it is more formal, all right? And then you have to say, for example, I'm sorry to inform you that I will not be able to join you for the upcoming camp. So you can see the language here, the expressions here are very different, right? So be careful of that as well, okay? Next, marks will also be awarded 30 marks for structure, lexis, and organization. Okay, now what are we looking at here? Okay, how do you actually get marks? Okay, now these 30 marks are also very important. Now students are able to use a variety of sentences from simple, compound, and complex. So now we are zooming into the structure. That means when you write, whether it's an email or a letter, you are able to use different kind of sentences, right? You have simple sentences, you have compound sentences using and but, right? Then you have complex sentences where you combine a few sentences with very good linkers, right? And message is sent across in a very complex manner, in a sense that you can write 2 or 3 ideas in one sentence. So your ability of writing good sentences will be seen, right? And marks will be awarded accordingly. Then you should also have a wide range of vocabulary. And of course, it has to be relevant and suitable with the format. That is where lexis comes in, okay? So for some students, you can use simple words. We are not asking you to use bombastic words or words that are, you know, of course, we do encourage Form 6 students to have low frequency words, but at the same time, you have to look at the relevancies of the question. Okay, so usually email is very direct, right? Very direct. You can use simple words as long as the syntax is right. Okay, the structure of the sentence is correct. Then you're also encouraged to use cohesive devices. Okay, good pronouns, relevant pronouns, Conjunctions, prepositions, for example, to show transition, like with regards to, you see, we use this when, when somebody says, I will not be able to attend, or will you be able to attend the birthday party, for example, and the question asked in that email. So when you want to refer to that question, you can use transitions like this. With regard to your question about the party, I'm sorry to inform you that I will not be able to attend. See, so when you do that, there is a very nice way of writing. You're doing it correctly, where you're using the transition words. Yeah. And you can also use words, phrases like with reference to. Okay. That means you're referring to what is being asked. And that is what you should do if you want to get good marks for your language. Then, for good organization, paragraphing is very important. My dear students, please remember, even though it's an email, you still need to have paragraphing. Now, your paragraphs can be short, but it has to answer all those required elements, which I will zoom into that in a bit. But what I'm trying to say here is that paragraphing is very important. Follow the idea accordingly as you get in the email. So when you reply, you follow exactly and you write your paragraphs. You can leave 1 or 2 lines between each paragraph, so that's easier for the examiner when they're marking, right? Plan your ideas according to the question asked in each paragraph of the letter or email. And remember, you are here to reply to it. Yeah, you are here to reply to it and focus on the notes given, which I will describe later. And when you focus on the notes, remember to describe the notes, right? And once done, please reread and check for missing words. Sometimes, you miss out certain words because you're writing very quickly. So do reread and check for missing words. And please, my dear student, check your spelling. Okay, sometimes the S is missing, the is missing, or the is missing, or double S, 1 S is missing, etc. So please reread and check for all this. And finally, be mindful of your handwriting. Yes. Some students have very nice, clean handwriting, and that would be very easy, right, for the examiners to mark. And even your teachers, I'm sure they will praise you, right? If you have good handwriting, it's very easy to read and understand your work. So yeah, be careful of that as well. All right, now let's zoom into the question. Okay, now I have one question here, right? We're doing email first. Okay, we'll do email first. Now, look at the from. Right? It could be anyone, right? If this is the question, so you are to read very carefully from the beginning. From Amelia, the letter, the email is from her. And then we have the subject, SOS, help needed. Okay, SOS, help needed. And you see it is addressed to Patsy. So you have, hi, Patsy. Okay, hi, Patsy. So when you reply, you know for sure that you are going to be Patsy, right? You are not going to reuse your own name, right? You have to be very careful on that. So when you read carefully. Now, in paragraph 1, there is a question. How was your weekend? Did you go shopping with your mom? And then you will see an arrow there referring to the notes, and your answer must be no. And why no? Right, so you must describe, or you give some elaboration on why no. So you're very good with excuses, isn't it? So this is an opportunity for you to give reasons as to why you did not go shopping. All right. Okay. Next, paragraph 2. Have you finished your homework? There's another question there. Now remember one thing clearly. When you do this task, there will be questions. Now, when somebody asks you a question in general, you definitely need to answer, isn't it? So that is the purpose. When you read an email or even a letter, when there is a question, you know that requires some form of response from you. You have to reply to that, okay? Now, I know that you already had an idea of what to present for our English language project. Please share with me. Now here, another important element is about sharing, and that is where you're going to tell Amelia what you have in mind, okay? Now, paragraph 3. As for me, to be honest, I have no idea of what to present on how we celebrate our National Day. Can you help me, as I want to do well for this project? So there are a few elements here, okay? And you are supposed to suggest 2, okay? You want to do well for the project. You want to give an idea here. how, remember, look at the word how we celebrate our National Day. And you are going to give 2 suggestions. And finally, for the last paragraph, honestly, I'm very worried. Do you think we can meet up so that I can ask you more questions? And you have to answer definitely, because that is what is written in the notes. Now, do not change it otherwise. Okay, if you change it otherwise, you're not answering the question, so marks cannot be awarded. And finally, you sign off. Let me know soon by Amelia. So the signing off part is also important. You can put there by, or you can put your friend, right? And you can sign off. And remember to sign off correctly. Okay. Now, let's look at this part very carefully. I want everyone to focus on this part, because these are the parts, right, which I have highlighted that will actually give you marks. Okay. Now, look at the question again. Like I said earlier, when somebody asks you a question, you definitely need to answer. Okay, so bear that in mind. Don't forgo all the questions. Please don't. So when you have a question, you must answer in your reply. Okay, so when somebody asks you, how was your weekend? There are many ways for you to elaborate. Like I said, you don't have to write in so many sentences, but at least 1 or 2 sentences. Okay, did you go shopping with your mom? So the answer that you must give is, if you refer to the notes, no. Okay, why no? You can give many reasons. Okay, now I want to focus this on the keywords first. Yeah, let's look at all the keywords first before I give you some samples on how you can actually answer. Now look at paragraph 2 again. Have you finished your homework? Now this is another important element which you must address in your reply. Okay, have you finished your homework? Yes, no. On halfway through, right? It can be many different ways of answering, but you must answer the question. I know that you already had an idea of what to present for English language project. Now here, be very careful, students. Sometimes activities can be in a physical form, but here look at the word present. Yeah. Now present gives you an idea that it is something that you do orally. Okay, something that you present orally, in terms of either talking, in terms of singing, right? Presenting a slide, something on an oral, what do you call it? It's an oral activity. So be careful on that, because if you don't give the correct activity in terms of the example, you can be penalized. Yeah. So read very carefully whether the activities or the examples needed, is it physically or is it orally? Yeah? Be very careful. Here you're going to present something. So when you present something, it is done orally. And we're talking about the idea here. Okay. And you're going to tell Amelia what idea you have in mind. Okay. Now look at paragraph 3. As for me, to be honest, I have no idea on what to present. Again, they have zoomed into the word present here, on how we celebrate our National Day. So here, when you suggest the 2 activities, those activities must be in relation to celebrating our National Day. So this is where I mentioned earlier, your general knowledge comes in. Okay, so I'm sure you have experienced National Day celebration, right? You have gone to Dataran Merdeka, you know what happens there, right? But that is the physical form. Okay, that's a physical form of celebration. So you are going to change that into presenting, right? That means you can talk about how people celebrate. So when you use the word talk about, present on, now those words can be accepted, because here we are, you are sharing information, right? You are talking, you are presenting, right? So it's the action is done orally. Okay, so you mention like that. And finally, can you help me as I want to do well for this project? Again, somebody is asking a question here, so you have to answer. Okay. And finally, the last paragraph, honestly, I'm very worried. Do you think we can meet up so that I can ask you more questions? Okay. So here you can say, when somebody says, do you think we can meet up? So again, it's a question. So you need to answer. And in this case, the notes given, if you look at it, it's definitely. So you are not going to change and say, oh, I'm sorry, we can't meet up. No, you're not going to do that. You are going to say, oh, yes, definitely. Okay, we can meet up. And you can be a bit more specific there, meet up where, what time, right? And you can also ask more questions. Definitely, you're going to say, ask more question. You're going to say yes. Now, I see some scribbles on my slide. I don't think that's very nice. I wonder which student is doing this. Can you please stop doing it? I would really appreciate that. And finally, you end it with let me know soon and by Amelia. Okay, yeah? All right. So these are the important elements which you must reply in your email. Okay, I hope that is clear. If you have questions, you can just type in the chat box. I will read from time to time. Now, a reminder to all candidates, you should use all the notes and expand it based on the stimulus given. And remember, you're going to reply to Amelia, not to anyone else, not to other friends of yours, but to Amelia. And you're going to use appropriate style and expressions like what I have explained just now. Okay, now let's try every part of it. Okay, and I'm going to give you some examples which you can use. Now, remember to start with the opening remarks. Okay, that's very important. You get marks for opening. You need to address the correct person. In this context, you can either say, hi, Amelia. You can say, hello, Amelia, or you can say, dear Amelia, but choose one. Okay, so when you write, hi, Amelia, you will be awarded marks for opening. Yeah. And then how was your weekend? Describe about the weekend. Now, like I said, when somebody asks you, how was your weekend? So you can say like, I was quite busy during the weekend. Okay, that is good enough. So you're answering the question. Or you can say, I had a great weekend with my friends. See, so you are addressing the question that was asked. Okay. Next, did you go shopping with your mom? Again, you refer to the notes. And it says no. Okay, so you cannot say, oh, yes, I went shopping with my mom. I had a great time. No, you cannot do that. Okay, you have to say no. And when you say no, you elaborate further, describe a little bit more, give us some story there, but not too long, but at least say something. I did not go shopping with my mom because I was so busy with my schoolwork. Or I did not go shopping with my mom because the car broke down. Okay, simple things like that, 1 or 2 sentences. And another thing, reference must be made to the word shopping and the word mom, because you went shopping. The question is asking you about going shopping with your mom. So you cannot change it by saying, I went shopping with my sister, or I went shopping with my brother. That's not answering the question again. Okay, so be careful. When the question is focusing on, did you go shopping with mom? There are 2 elements, 2 keywords here that you must remember, shopping and mom. So that must appear in your reply for you to get the correct marks. Yeah, I did not go shopping with my mom because the car broke down, or because I was so busy, or because my mom was not well, etc. Okay, now look at the next question. Have you finished your homework? Now again, there is a question. Have you finished your homework? Now this is quite general. That means you can either say yes, you have finished, or you can say no, I'm still working on it, or you can say I have not started. Let's look at the example there. Yes, I have finished my homework and plan to make a presentation on the National Day Parade. Okay, so you see, you have actually elaborated here. So that's what needed. Short and sweet, 1 sentence, but you have answered and you've given some extra elaboration here, which is correct. Okay, you're telling Amelia what's happening, because if you refer to the notes, it says tell Amelia. So you are telling her now whether you have finished the homework or not. Or you can say no, that means you have not done it, right? No, I am still working on it, as I plan to focus on how Malaysians decorate their houses, offices, and schools with the national flag. Now, if you notice, all the ideas given here is in relation to the National Day Parade. It's about the National Day celebration. It can either be the parade, or it can be, about the flag, national flag, right? About decorating the house or school. So, but it has to be about the National Day. So remember to stay focused on the topic that is being discussed. Yeah, not to give any other examples that are irrelevant, and then you won't get marks. Okay. Now let's look at the next question. Any idea on the project? Now here the response can be yes or no, because again, the question is very general. Any idea on the project? So you can say yes, you can say no, or you can say I'm still working on it. I have not started my work because I could not decide between National Day Parade or National Day Marathon. So here you are giving two options again. Okay, that means you are not decided yet. Okay, but it's good. So you have some idea generally, but you are not decided yet. So not too bad. So you can either choose to have yes, no, or I have not started my work. But remember, you need to explain a little bit more, just as what you can see now in the example. Yeah. So far, okay, students? Okay, I have a question here by Arina. Is it acceptable if I change the word definitely to other words like sure, yes, or else? Okay, I would not really encourage you to change, but if you can retain the word, it would be good, right? Just to be on the safe side. But otherwise, yes, we do accept words like sure, yes, or else. Yeah. But sometimes I always tell my students that to be on the safe side, don't change any word. Yeah, try to use the word that you see, especially if it's in the notes. Yeah. Okay. Next, I have no idea on what to present. Can you help me? Here you need to suggest two, because that is what is required. Now, when you say no idea on what to present, your friend is telling now, you need to reply and help your friend here by giving or suggesting two ideas. Now, candidates should suggest idea one and focus on the oral activities, okay, on the oral activities based on the word present in the email. Like I mentioned earlier, remember the activities should be based on oral presentation. Okay, remember, not a physical activity. Like for example, going to Dataran Merdeka, singing the national song is fine because it is still orally done, singing. But other than that, you have to be careful. Yeah. So the idea one here, okay, you need to give two, right? So the first idea would be to present in celebrating National Day. Now the presentation on how we decorate our school. Okay, you see, as you can see now, when we decorate our school, it's a physical activity. But here, we are not talking about that. Here, we are presenting to someone. Okay, you're giving a presentation. Because like I said, the focus is on presenting. So you're presenting on how we decorate our school. It can be done on the slide, or it can be just a talk, right? Sharing out sessions with your friends, or you can even show a video and talk about it. So that would be accepted as your first idea, right? Okay, now the second idea would be to present in National Day celebration would be candidate should suggest idea two, but again, like I said, focus on oral based activity. Okay, again, oral based activity. And here, the example would be talk about how Malaysians are encouraged to recite a poem or sing a patriotic song, maybe. Okay, so that would be good because here, again, when you recite a poem, it's an activity that is done orally, right? And when you sing, you're also doing it orally. So these kind of activities or examples are relevant and it is correct. So you'll be given marks, yeah, because it's correct. So far, okay? Are you all following? Okay, all right, good. Now, do you think we can meet up? There's another question here. Do you think we can meet up? If you refer to the notes, it says definitely, okay? Now, just now we had a student asking whether she can use other options. So yes, you can, okay? You can use like sure, yes, of course, why not? But to play safe, it's good to use the word definitely, okay? And candidates should agree to meet up and develop the ideas and mention the time or venue. So it would be good if you can elaborate a little bit more, like when, you can meet up. So you can say, for example, we can meet on Saturday at 10 a.m. at our favorite cafe. You can say like that. So there is some form of development. Now, remember, students, if you develop the ideas, you will be getting marks on development. Okay, so that's why you need to elaborate. That's why you need to develop the ideas. It can be in 1 or 2 sentences. It doesn't have to be many long stories. It's just 1 or 2 sentences, and that will give you marks. Yeah. then we can meet up after school. Simple as that. We can meet up after school. Okay, so you are answering the question, do you think we can meet up? So definitely, right? Definitely. And we can meet on Saturday at 10 a.m. at our favorite cafe. All right, huh? Next. Can I ask you more questions? Okay, can I ask you more questions? Again, the answer is yes, definitely, of course, right? You can ask more questions. For example, if you have any questions, you can always ask me, right? Or I can clear your doubt, if any. See, better students will have a better way of answering, okay? So, but if you are worried or if you're not very good in the language, never mind. Then you keep it simple. As long you answer the question, can I ask you more question? You say yes. Yes, you can. All right. That is enough already because you have actually answered the question. But if you're a better candidate, then definitely you can be more expressive, right? Be more expressive with your sentences. I can clear your doubt, if any. See, it's more interesting, isn't it? To have sentences like that. It's more apt, yeah? And I will be happy to answer your question. This is another way of replying. See, when you say this, you know, you will be in a different band because you are more matured and the choice of words are different, yeah? It helps. So you try your best and you can choose whichever sentence that you think is suitable for you. All right, next, for the closing, okay? For the closing, don't forget to write the name of the sender, okay? Be careful of the spelling. It is Patsy. In this case, you are signing off to Patsy, not Pasty or Patsy. Now remember, if your spelling is wrong, you will not get marks for closing, yeah? So be very careful about the spelling, although it looks very petty, but it is not, yeah? And remember, it is not your own name. You have to always read the question properly. Okay, you have to read the question properly. Unless the question says, send a letter to you, okay? Then you can sign off using your own name. Otherwise, if you read and it says, it mentions there another person's name, so be very careful. You must be wary of whom you are writing to and also signing off correctly. Okay, in this case, it is your friend Patsy. And the final check, please read your email thoroughly. Always read once you're done and check for the missing words and the spelling errors, and then correct it and reread again. Okay. Now let's look at one sample here. This is a good sample and I want to show it to all of you. This is how the reply, okay? So this is how you should reply. From Pepsi, subject is English Language Presentation Project. Hello, Amelia. So you see, opening is there. So you will get marks for opening. My weekend was great. I just finished reading an interesting book. I did not go shopping with my mom as our car broke down unexpectedly and was sent to the workshop. So as you can see in paragraph 1, this student has written, my weekend was great. And why was it great? There is one sentence to show why it's great. I just finished reading an interesting book. So for this student, reading a book is something very interesting and made the weekend great. So as you can see, there is a follow-up. There is a sentence that describes why and how the weekend was great, right? Although it's just one sentence, but it answered the question very well. Then I did not go shopping with my mom. Why? Again, elaboration came in, development came in, as our car broke down unexpectedly and was sent to the workshop. See, it's one sentence alone, but there are many ideas there. Okay, so this is good, clear, right? Let's look at paragraph 2. Yes, I have finished my homework. So clear cut here. This student has mentioned that the person has finished the homework. But you can also choose to say, I'm doing it halfway, or I'm still thinking of ideas, you know, it's okay. But here in this example, yes, I have finished my homework. I do have an idea of what to present for our English language project. I am going to talk about. Now, this one is very good because look at the word talk. Talk has the same meaning as presenting, right? You are presenting, you are sharing ideas. So therefore, this is correct. Okay. So I am going to talk about how Malaysians celebrate National Day by attending the National Day Parade. Every year, a parade is held. So from here onwards, you notice this is the development. This is the elaboration. Every year, a parade is held as the Merdeka Square, showcasing the rich and multicultural heritage identity of Malaysia. Okay, every year, a parade is held at the Merdeka Square. Okay, at the Merdeka Square, showcasing the rich and multicultural heritage identity of Malaysians. It will be interesting to present this to the class. See, you are telling me that every year a parade is held, right? So we know that. But what has that got to do with the presenting part? So you see, this student is good in a sense that it brought back the word present. You see, at the end, it will be interesting to present this to the class. Therefore, the first idea here is correct. Okay, the first idea of sharing what happened, okay, in terms of sharing the rich and multicultural heritage is being mentioned. So clear. So you will get marks for the first part, that first idea. Okay. Now look at the next one, next paragraph. At first, I did not know what to present. However, I would like to suggest two ideas. Firstly, you might want to talk about how Malaysians celebrate National Day by displaying and waving the national flag Jalur Gemilang. Now, this is the first idea. Remember, you need to suggest two ideas, right? You need to suggest two. The one that you mentioned earlier in the first paragraph is something in general, okay? Because you're referring to your friend not having an idea. Remember that part of not having an idea on what to present. So when you gave that example of talking about the parade and showcasing the rich and multicultural heritage, that was the first part where you are referring to in general that your friend don't have an idea. So you are sort of giving that person an idea. But in this paragraph, you are focusing on the two ideas specifically. Okay, so you need to address that. So what are the two ideas? Firstly, you might want to talk about how Malaysians celebrate National Day. Again, look at the word that I highlighted in red, talk about. So talk again has the same meaning as presenting. You are sharing information and you're doing it orally. Okay, so if it's something, an activity that is done orally, you're on track. So it's correct to talk about how Malaysians celebrate National Day by displaying and waving the national flag, Jalur Gemilang. Secondly, now this is also good, very apt, because like I said, email is rather short. So you use proper linkers that will show clearly that you are sharing your information specifically. So firstly, secondly, simple linkers, but it's correct. So secondly, you can also talk about how Malaysians love to sing patriotic songs composed by famous Malaysian songwriters as a gesture of true love and pride for our nation. Okay, so you're giving the second idea here. And again, you are using the word talk, which is focusing on the oral activity. And this time the idea is different, right? It's about how Malaysians love to sing patriotic songs. So singing is also another activity which is done orally. So it's correct. Okay, so be very careful when you give your examples. It may look simple, but if your examples are not in terms of presentation or it's not an oral activity, you will not get marks. Although it is in relation to National Day, but the activity is not orally done, you will not get marks. So be careful, yeah? And the last paragraph, please do not worry yourself too much. We can definitely meet up soon. How about meeting up? Okay, now as you can see, please do not worry, because if you notice in the email, your friend was worried, right? So you can also address that part if you want. Okay, you can also address that part by telling your friend, please do not worry yourself too much. Please don't be worried, you know. We can definitely meet up soon. This is the second part where, remember, there was a question asking whether can we meet up. So now this student is replying to that. We can definitely meet up. And look at the word definitely, it is being used here. So correct. Okay, we can definitely meet up soon. How about meeting up? Now there's elaboration here further. There's more development here. How about meeting up at the town library this Saturday at 1 p.m. So the venue of the place is mentioned, the day is mentioned, and even the time is mentioned. So this is again extra development which you can put when you reply. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. So remember the last part, about the question part. So this is also being addressed in this reply, so which is very good. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. So all the elements that is required to get full marks is in this email. So this is how you should answer or you should reply that email. And finally, don't forget the closing. It's also very important. Reply soon, okay? And you have by, you can put there by, and Patsy. Remember, it's Patsy and not Ali or Abu or Pesty or some other spelling error there. We don't want that, okay? We just want Patsy. Now, why? Because you shouldn't be making this type of glaring errors because the word is already there. You are only copywriting it, okay? So when you copyright something that's already in the question and yet you make a mistake, that is not good. That's not good at all, okay? So remember to reread and to check for everything from your for your sentences, okay, for missing words, for spelling, even capital letter is very important, punctuation, right? Because for email, usually you use quite a lot of punctuation. Like you see, when you say great, you want to put an exclamation mark there, okay? Sometimes you use certain words like nasi, lemak, mi goreng, which is taken from the Bahasa Melayu. You may want to put inverted commas, right? So all these punctuations are important. Full stop, capital letter, comma after your linker. Firstly, secondly, you put a comma. Now, all these mechanics of writings are very important. So make sure you don't forgo that, right? And check when you reread at the end, check for all these elements. Yeah, it's very important. So that's it. Good luck and try your best. I hope that all students, you have understood task 1. Now I will open for some questions. Let me just check in the chat box. Anybody, if you have any questions, you can post now. This is regarding task 1. Yeah, you can ask me any questions if you have. That's all from me. Thank you. Okay, I see one question here. Is it necessary to add more points than the main points? Okay, like I said, it depends on where you're looking. Okay, just hold on. Let me show you the slide. Hold on. Okay, now if you look at this slide, now you're asking me whether is it necessary to add more points. Definitely, yes, in a sense that you need to develop. Now we are talking about the notes here. If you can see, there are 4 notes, right? No, tell Amelia, suggest to, definitely. So this is where you must elaborate. So if you're asking me about elaboration here, you have to elaborate. You cannot just say, no, I did not go shopping. No, we need to know why you didn't go shopping. If you tell Amelia, you need to tell Amelia what exactly, what are your ideas, right? And what you can present. So you need to elaborate. So the question here is that need to add more points than the main points. You just answer what is required. Wherever there are questions, you answer the questions by giving some elaboration. If you look at the notes, you elaborate on the notes. That's it. That's all that you do for task 1. I hope I've answered your question. All right, good. Thank you. Next, any more questions you can ask me? And I hope the Secretariat YPC can also give me some questions from YouTube if there are, because I have no access to that. I am just looking at the chat box now. Okay, any more questions? All right, so when there are no questions, I think everybody understood what I explained, right? So I wish everyone good luck for the upcoming written exam that's coming real soon. And I hope that all of you will try your best to answer accordingly. And remember, the keywords are very, very important. Don't miss them. And when you look at the notes, please elaborate on the notes, right? And then you definitely do well for task 1. So that's all from me. It's already almost 10 o'clock, huh? Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cikgu Lampat, for the sharing. So the second session will be conducted by Cikgu Banusha, also from College DESA MAHKOTA. Cikgu Banusha, are you ready?
Fatin, can you hear me?
Yes, Cikgu Banusha.
Okay, all right, okay. Thank you, Fatin.
All right.
Once again, good morning to Dr. Farah, the CEO of YPC, Ms. Gan, the senior lecturer, not to forget Encik Yusof, the principal of College Tingkatan 6 DESA MAHKOTA, and everyone present here this morning. All right, now, can I share my screen? Hold on. All right, it's clear? All right. As Puan Jaspal mentioned earlier, she has covered the first task, that is either the email writing or the letter, which is task 1. Now, I'm going to talk about task 2. All right. Now, in task 2, there is only one question. It's 60 marks, right? If you had noticed her slides earlier, email writing is 30 marks, email writing or letter writing is 30 marks, task 2 is 60 marks. So definitely, if the weightage is more, this question is important. All right. And it's important that you answer this question well. Okay. Now, oh dear, I see scribbling there. All right. In this essay, okay, a stimulus will be given, and it's normally a statement stating a problem. Okay. And you have to write the essay. If they say write an essay giving your opinion, then your essay will be either discursive or argumentative. All right, you either discuss it or you argue on the question given. Or the other thing is, the essay could ask you to give suggestions. All right, you will need to write an essay giving suggestions to deal with the problem. All right, so that will be a problem solution essay. Okay. And when you write the essay, generally, of course, you write in paragraphs. So in the first paragraph, you should be able to write a good introduction and stating your opinion. So when I say stating your opinion, you're making a stand either to agree or disagree or partially agree. That is if you answer a discursive or argumentative essay. Or if you're going to discuss something, all right, if you're going to discuss something, then you will give two different perspectives. And the next thing in the first paragraph is you will state your thesis statement. Then in the following paragraphs, you will further elaborate. It's always 3 relevant points with ample examples. Okay, so that's what you're basically required to do. All right, now I'm going to talk about the 3 different types of essays very, very briefly. Okay. Like I said, when you get a discursive essay, discursive means what? You discuss the topic given and you will discuss it thoroughly. All right, you discuss it in detail. When you do that, all right, the body, your content of the essay, you are giving 2 different perspectives, 2 paragraphs plus 1 paragraph. All right, that's what I mean by 2 different perspectives. Later, I'll talk about that. Yeah, I'll go into detail. And when you make your conclusion, you will make a neutral stand, not taking any sides. Okay, that's a discursive essay. Or if you're giving your opinion and you wish to write an argumentative essay, so when you do that, your intention is to persuade the reader to agree with your stand. You are the writer to agree with your stand. Okay, so in the first paragraph, all right, in any argumentative essay, you always make a very, very clear stand, either to agree fully to the task given, or you're going to totally disagree, or you're going to partially agree with what is given in the task. All right. So when you present your arguments, all right, like I said there, either 3 you agree, 3 you disagree, or partially agree is 2 plus 1. Okay. And in any good essay, you always have a conclusion. All right. When you partially agree, you conclude in favor of one stand. All right. The stand, the 2 stands, the 2 content points that you're actually in favor of. Okay. Or what do you call that? And when you conclude, you must reinstate your stand. All right. I'll tell you what is it later when I show you the example. All right. That is an argumentative essay, which I will focus on actually in today's session. The third type of essay is something called a problem solution essay. A problem will be given. You are supposed to discuss the problem and give 3 solutions to how to solve this problem as far as possible. Okay. So as you write your answer, you will include the cause. It can be just one cause. All right. To you, if you feel there's only one cause, you can give 3 solutions to that one cause. Or if you think there are a few causes to that problem, then you mention the causes and give the relevant solutions to it. Choice is yours. Okay. And then, of course, as you discuss and you talk about the solution, it's always important to elaborate and give ample examples. Okay. That's the body of your answer. And in your very last paragraph, you conclude your, you summarize your solutions that you wrote earlier in the first paragraph, and then always give an impactful ending. Okay, that always that to show that you're very clear on what you have actually said. Now, I'll give you a very briefly. I'll go through this. My focus is not actually on the problem solution question, but let me just briefly tell you how this is different from the other 2. All right, a problem solution question. Okay, one example here. You attended a talk by a representative from a non-government organization which was recently organized during the academic week in your school. The following comment was made, the word made is not there, was made by the guest speaker. Question is, many college students nowadays struggle with depression. You can see I have bolded some words there. It's college students. They are struggling with what? With depression. So the who in this question is the college students. What's the issue? They are struggling with depression. So you're going to write an essay suggesting ways to deal with depression, and you will write at least 250 words. Now, even though they say it's at least 250 words, but if you think you can write more, it's fine. All right. Don't be so rigid with the number of words. If you can write a minimum of 250 words, it's good. But if you can write more, you're not going to be penalized. It's all about how you manage that 50 minutes to write your essay. That's all. Okay. Now let's look at the outline of this problem solution essay. Okay. The first paragraph is always an introduction. What do you do with an introduction? Now, I'm not going to go into the details of giving this. All right, briefly, this is what I'm sure all of you would have been taught. When you write an introduction, all right, you always start it with either an interesting fact that you know, or a recent observation that you have seen, or it can be a rhetorical question. Rhetorical question means you ask, but you don't expect the answer. You will provide the answer in the essay. Okay, or you're going to give an anecdote or a quotation from somewhere. It could even be a definition. All right, like for example, if this question, okay, maybe you want to define the word depression if you can, all right, you can do that, all right. Or if you have any statistics that you know, which is correct, do not make your own, come up with your own statistics. If you do not know any statistics, don't provide it. If you're very sure of something, you know the source of the statistics, then go ahead, you may write so. Okay. For example, I'm just giving you an example. Pursuing a tertiary education is the aim of many school leavers. They hope to fulfill their dreams and securing a job with substantial salary. That's just an introduction. So this is actually, I would say this is actually an observation. All right. So this introduction can be called as an observation as to what you see that's happening around you. So now what's the problem? The problem here is, however, many of them, all right, I can't see this. many of them feel that college life is not at all as they are constantly faced with lots of challenges. Okay. Okay, sorry. However, many of them realize that college life is not all as they dreamt of, as they are constantly faced with lots of challenges. Now, this is the question. All right, this is the question. Now, that's the problem that you actually have identified in the question. Now, in your thesis statement, you're going to give 3 solutions to this problem. What is it? All right. Struggling with depression is a common phenomenon among college students. Okay, I've highlighted college students because that's what that's given in the question. All right. However, there are solutions to this problem, which are, your first solution is living a healthy lifestyle, confiding in close family members or friends, and seeking professional help. So this is your solution to the problem. So in paragraph 2, you will write about living a healthy lifestyle, because that's the first point that you have mentioned in your thesis statement. In paragraph 3, you will talk about confiding in close family members and friends. That's the second solution that you gave in your thesis statement. And in paragraph 4, you will talk about how seeking professional help can actually help students who are struggling with depression. Okay, and in your conclusion, all right, for a problem solution question, in your conclusion, your last paragraph, you can either advise very briefly, all right, you can advise the college students to seek the methods that you have discussed, or you can even give your opinion that, you know, if you follow these solutions given, how it could probably help them to come up with, to solve their problem, their depression problem. Okay, so this is a very brief outline. I'm not going to go into the depth of this question. I'm just giving you an outline of the body of a question if you have a problem solution essay to write. Okay, so far I hope I'm clear. All right, now the focus of today, what I'm going to talk about today is actually how do you write an argumentative essay. Okay, I have a sample question here. You're advised to spend 50 minutes on this task. Now, these 50 minutes, I'm highlighting it again, these 50 minutes must be, you must allocate 50 minutes for yourself. You cannot compromise on this time. Okay, that's why question 1, all right, it would have been stated that you're supposed to spend only about 25 minutes on question 1. All right, don't compromise spending too much of time on question 1 and leaving only about 30 minutes or 40 minutes to spend on question 2. It won't be a good idea. You will struggle, you will panic, and you won't be able to finish this essay. Okay, all right. Now the question is, you have watched a documentary about the growing concern on the reliability of online information. The following remark was made in the documentary. Online information is deceiving and unreliable. Again, when you get the question, the remark is this. Your question is, online information is deceiving and unreliable. I have bolded some of the keywords. You will underline or highlight these keywords in the question as you read it. That will allow you to focus on what you're supposed to write. Write an essay expressing your opinion on the statement. You're giving an opinion. So if you're giving an opinion, you can either argue it, write an argumentative essay, or you can just discuss it. Choice is yours. But I personally feel this is a good question for you to argue. This is my opinion, but if you're comfortable discussing it, you can go ahead and discuss it. All right? Now, online information is deceiving and unreliable. As you answer, before you answer, you always ask yourself this. What is the question all about? It's about online information. What's the issue here? The issue is it's supposed to be deceiving. It's supposed to be unreliable. Now, if you agree, you say, why is it deceiving? Why is it unreliable? You give reasons for it. You explain your reasons. You describe. Why is it that you say online information is deceiving and unreliable? If you disagree, if you choose to disagree, again, you give reasons why you believe it is not deceiving, it is not unreliable. Explain why it's not. How do you do that? You do that by providing relevant examples, all right, and give facts if you have. The facts that you know which are correct. But if you partially agree, all right, if you only agree to a certain extent, then 2 plus 1. 2 reasons you can say you agree to it, and 1 reason you can probably say no, you think it is deceiving, it is unreliable. It's up to you whether you want to give 2 reasons to agree and 1 reason to disagree, or 2 reasons to disagree and 1 reason to agree. Choice is yours, whichever you're comfortable writing. Okay. All right. So before you write out the essay, any kind of an essay, right, always ask yourself this: what, why, and how. Okay. Then you will be able to come up with your a good essay like that. Okay. Now, I'm going to take you through a sample. All right. So in the sample, I'm going to break it down and tell you how and what you write. In the introduction, like I said, paragraph 1 is your introduction. What must you have in the introduction? You can see these 3 words there in yellow. You must have the introduction. You must make a clear stand. Remember, argumentative, huh? You must make a clear stand. And you always have the thesis statement in your first paragraph. So for the introduction, it was the year 2021 and the newly discovered virus, COVID-19, was ravaging countries worldwide. People were panicking and trying to obtain as much information as possible about the virus. However, not many had realized that rampant misinformation was spreading everywhere online at the same time. Now, this simple introduction, which only consists of 3 sentences, is somehow coming into the question. Question is, we're talking about misinformation online. So here, rampant misinformation spreading everywhere online, that is bringing you to the online information. It's slowly leading into the question. So you are leading the reader to answer the question. So now, like I said, when you start, all right, when you start an essay, okay, earlier I did say how you start an essay, right? Remember? Okay, hold on. I'll come back to that later. Here, sorry. Remember I said in the introduction, you either give an interesting fact or a recent observation. How would you call this introduction? How would this introduction be? How can you describe this introduction? This is called a simple observation. This is what you observed last year, all right? And this is called writing a simple introduction, observation as the introduction. Okay, all right. The second thing is, hence there is a growing concern on the reliability of online information to the society, and I agree. All right, by writing I agree, you have made a clear stand. I agree that online information is deceiving and unreliable. You have made your stand. In this essay, I will explain my reasons. So you're going to give reasons, namely how online information can be falsified by anyone. That's your first reason. How online information is used by scammers to cheat innocent people. That's your second reason. And how online information might not be applicable in certain situations. That's your third reason. So this is called your thesis statement. So the first paragraph is very clear. Okay, I would say it's a very simple formula. You write an introduction, simple introduction, choose whichever type of introduction you wish to write that you know, that you're comfortable with. After that, if you're writing an argumentative essay, you make a stand. All right. If you're writing a discursive essay, you don't have to make a stand. All right. You just mention the thesis statement. You just, just write the thesis statement. You don't have to make a stand for a discursive essay. Okay. Now, let's go on to paragraph 2. Paragraph 2 is your main idea, your first main idea that you say. First and foremost, we must understand that online information can be falsified by anyone. This is the first reason that you gave in your thesis statement. Okay, this is because the advancements of technology has made information to spread widely in a much more easier way than ever before. You are saying why. Why is it online information can be falsified? It's because of the advancements of technology. You are explaining why. As such, people with suspicious intentions might take advantage of such facts and twist it to their favor. 2 years ago, numerous online fake news spread massively when the coronavirus hit Malaysia. False news claiming special military helicopters would spray pesticide from the sky all over the country actually got people to stay indoors. Not to mention panic buying in supermarkets resulting in basic necessities such as milk and bread to run short constantly. This is the how. How was false information spread? You are telling how. All right, so this how now is here in the form of examples. And these examples are true because you have read this, maybe some of you have experienced this. So it's always good to give examples which are correct, and it's through your observation and through reading that you can actually write good examples. So to write a good essay like this, reading is important. It's still not too late, 2 more weeks. I won't say it's too late for you to read. All right, and let's continue. A recent example would be how state-sponsored Russian and social media accounts were spreading false information worldwide in the midst of the Russian-Ukraine war. Such as Russian government said, when the Russian army left the Kyiv suburb of Bucha on March 30th, 2022, there were no bodies on the streets. This news was false because there were already dead bodies in Bucha in March. This is through reading that you can write such an example. So this is again how online information can be falsified. Okay, through a second example. The majority of the news readers were duped to believe such facts. People reading this information all over the world are made to believe Russian soldiers did not kill anyone in Bucha, thus highlighting the dangers caused by falsified online information and proving that they are deceiving and unreliable. Always tie up to the question. What's your question? Your question is, online information is deceiving and unreliable, all right? And you have typed that up in your first paragraph. Sorry, in your second paragraph for your first content point, in your first main idea. Okay, so you look at the flow, how you write your paragraphs. You start with your main idea. Give a reason why. If you can write more, you please write more why. I have limited this because of the space I have in the screen. I wanted to show one paragraph and in not too small fonts. Therefore, my why you will find only one sentence. So if you say, it's not rigid that it has to, the why has to be only in one sentence. It can be in 2 or 3 sentences. Honestly, it's up to you how much you know. All right. My limitation is the space in the slide. That's all. I have given 2 examples here. If you think you have got 3 relevant examples as to why online information can be falsified, please do so. If this paragraph is going to be half a page long, half of your answer paper long, it's fine, Okay, it's fine. Don't worry about it. As long as we're very clear about what you're doing, your organization in this paragraph is clear. All right, write your main idea, you say why, how, mention the examples, and then you tie it up going back to the question that is given to you. Then we know that you are actually writing and answering the question. Okay, I hope you're clear. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, now I'm going to the second idea in paragraph 3. Next, you see, next is a linker. Always use simple cohesive devices, then you know you have got the style of writing is there. You're able to use the correct cohesive devices. Next, we must face the fact that online information is used by scammers. Scammers deploy various methods to scam innocent people for numerous reasons. Okay, you're telling why. Okay, why do scammers do this? A scam link in the email may lead one to be tricked into providing personal financial information. In the pretext of multiplying one's income, a scammer might successfully get many people to blindly provide other personal information such as properties owned as well. So now these victims who wish to make big profits in a short period of time to add on to their wealth will fall prey to these scammers. Now you're giving an example and explaining how these scammers are successful, all right, using through online information. Besides that, there are social media messages designed to spark fake romantic relationships. Some people also believe in this, they fall for it. Lonely single individuals pining for companionship may be lured to trust these scammers whose motive is to gain money from innocent and vulnerable people. When all is lost, these victims not only lose their cash and belongings, but they are left in the lurch with emotional trauma. So this is your second example saying how scammers scam people online. Okay, hence it is best to keep in mind that online information is often deceiving and unreliable. Okay, you're tying it up again, going back to the question. This is how you write a good paragraph. Okay, point, like I said just now, your first point, and then you say why. Why, you answer the why, you are actually giving elaboration. Okay, so don't get confused when I say why means you're giving elaboration. You're explaining further. All right, and then you want to say how, you say how is it done? You give examples, correct examples. Okay, so now we have done 2 content points. Let's go on to the third content point. Thirdly, all right, just now I used the linker as the next. Now I'm using the linker thirdly. It is the truth that online information is too general and might not be applicable to certain situations. That's point number 3. Online information, especially on topics such as medical advice, is usually simplified for the common reader and does not state the exceptions that might be too complicated or long-winded, which is true. All right. Hence, the reader may not know the circumstances of taking the medication without a doctor's advice. All right. So now you are telling why. Why is it online information can be very general and might not be applicable to in certain situations. So now the why here is you're actually narrowing it to medical advice. All right, your elaboration, you're narrowing it down to medical advice. Okay. Okay, somebody has asked the question thesis statement. Okay, Shafika, you hold on, Shafika. Let me finish this and I'll come back to you in a short while, okay? All right. Yet, this extra information might be cruel for certain specific cases in which a person might face. I'm elaborating further. Now, all right, it is still answering why. As an example, fever might indicate that someone needs to consume antibiotics. But antibiotics only cures bacterial infections instead of fever caused by viruses. If a person suffering from viral fever consumes self-prescribed antibiotics, it might not be the correct treatment. You see, some of you may know this, but many people may not know it. Whatever they read online, or maybe some confession from somebody, or even some people believe that no, what I read online is true, so they may just self-prescribe antibiotics to themselves without seeing the doctor. So the person may suffer adverse effects which could be detrimental to his or her health. Hence, this proves that online information which is too general might be deceiving and unreliable for certain specific problems. Therefore, in this situation, it is best to see a general practitioner. General practitioner is a normal doctor that you see in the clinic, or specialist. Okay, again, you see at the end, I tie up, coming back to the question, why is it deceiving and unreliable? All right, let me just stop for a while. Let me answer Shafika's question. Shafika is asking me what is thesis statement. All right. Now, sorry, let me just, let's say like many of you do not know what is this. Thesis statement actually consists of the 3 content points, the 3 paragraphs. Remember, I told you earlier, hold on, let me go up. Hold on. Okay, when I say you write 3 relevant points here, okay, your 3 relevant points are written. Okay, now let me go back. Shafika, you follow me. The 3 relevant points that you have is written in 1 sentence. All right, the 3 relevant points, whatever 3 points you come up with, is written in 1 sentence, and that is called your thesis statement. And in the body of the essay, in your thesis statement, you got 3 content points, right? Like for this question, your first content point is you believe that online information can be falsified by anyone. And your second reason, it is used by scammers. The third one, you're saying it might not be applicable in certain situations. So now in this thesis statement, your first reason is falsified by anyone. You talk about that first. How it's falsified by anyone. That is idea number one. Follow the sequence that you wrote in your thesis statement. In your thesis statement, your second reason is it is used by scammers. So your second point, you talk about the scammers. Your third reason that you gave in a thesis statement is information is too general. Online information is too general. So that will be your third reason that will be in your fourth paragraph. Follow the sequence as how you wrote in your thesis statement. Don't jumble it up. Okay, Shafiqah, I hope you have answered your question. Huh? All right. Now, so that is the bulk of your essay. Okay, your introduction. All right, again, introduction, first paragraph, introduction, paragraph 1, introduction, stand, thesis statement. Okay, stand is for argumentative essay. If you're discussing it, you don't have to make a stand. You just give your introduction and you write your thesis statement. In your thesis statement, again, what is thesis statement? Your three answers, your three reasons. All right, your three content points written in one sentence. That's called thesis statement. Okay, and then the first reason you gave is your first main idea that will be written in paragraph 2. All right, the second reason that you gave will be written in paragraph 3. The third reason that you gave will be written in paragraph 4. Okay, I hope it's clear. Huh? Then conclusion. Any kind of writing or speaking, you always, it's good to have a conclusion. Here, I would say it's good, you must. All right, in this essay, you must write the conclusion. To conclude this essay, you can say overall, you can say to conclude this essay, you can say in conclusion, the style is yours. Okay, as long as you are clear that you're making a conclusion. What do you write in your conclusion? We can see how online information can be falsified by anyone, how it is used by scammers to cheat innocent people, and how it might not be applicable in certain situations that prove that it is deceiving and unreliable. So now in your conclusion, what do? You reinstate the thesis statement. Reinstate means write the thesis statement in another way. That's all. Okay. So thesis, in your conclusion, the first thing you do is rewrite your thesis statement. Don't copy the same format. Use the three content points. All right. You write the sentence in a different manner. That's all. You reword it, but your content is there. The three reasons, the three content point is there in your conclusion. Yet, the convenience of looking up for information online does not deter people from believing in information obtained from the internet. Thus, all parties are urged to work together to fight misinformation, spread awareness, and create a society free from false knowledge. So this is your own opinion. This is your advice. So after reinstating, after rewording your thesis statement, you can write 1 or 2 sentences just to give your opinion on about the topic. That's conclusion. All right, up to this point, is there anything you want to ask? If anybody wants to ask anything, you can ask me at this point. I'll give you some time. Okay, if you want to ask, you can ask me now. Okay, or while waiting, it's okay. Let me move on. Now, I have given you the samples, a very clear sample of an argumentative essay. All right. My whole point today is how you write your paragraphs, how you write your essay clearly. Okay. If you look at the vocabulary that I've used, I don't think it's that complicated. But if any of you can give good vocabulary, some low frequency words, it will definitely be good for you. All right. Like Puan Jaspal mentioned earlier, always check your spelling. It is always good to reread this essay. All right. It's a long essay. It's 60 marks. I know you'll be fighting time. You'll be pressured at that point of time. But I always feel it's important that you actually spend time, give yourself at least 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes makes a lot of difference, you know. At least 5 minutes, go through your essay, check for any kind of mistakes you probably would have made. If you can avoid making those mistakes, it's better for you. Okay, you want to write what do you call the best essay that you have that you can possibly do. So when you leave the exam hall, you won't have any regrets. Rewind the slide to paragraph 5. Okay, girl, read paragraph 5. I don't have a paragraph 5. Paragraph 4 only. Are you talking about the third main idea? Paragraph 5 is a conclusion. Paragraph 4 is the third main idea. What can we do if we don't have idea? Oh my God, you cannot say this, girl. You must have the idea. All right, now let me come to that then. Okay, yeah. Before I come to this, okay, you cannot say you don't have an idea. You know, you're writing the essay. You cannot say you don't have the idea. All right. Okay, I'll come to this. Even though this is supposed to be the ending, okay, I'll come to this since since you have asked me this. You always spend 10 minutes to understand the given task and you plan your answer. You plan your answer in any way you can. You want to do a simple mind map, you want to do in point forms, it's entirely up to you. Okay, but you must give yourself 10 minutes out of the 50 minutes to plan your answer. You cannot just write it out just from your mind like how you probably have done before, because this essay you require some thinking. You require some thorough planning in your mind. You have to. Otherwise, you will get stuck halfway and you say, I'm stuck, I can't write. You can't do that. And answer as required of the task. When I say answer as required of the task, you don't write something else. Question said online, like for example, this question, the question is online information is deceiving and unreliable. You just talk about why and how is unreliable. All right, you don't talk about the advantages of an online information. Why is it good for us? Why is it good for young people? You're not, that is not what the question is asking you. You answer the question and don't write what you know. Okay, that must be very clear. You answer the task. All right. Now, another question is, somebody has asked, hold on, somebody has asked how many good words. I cannot count the number for you, all right? But as far as possible, like I said, you have 3 content points, all right? You have 3 content points. You want to throw some good vocabulary, you can do it in the introduction. It's your style, you can do it in the introduction. As you write, as you explain your thesis statement, as you explain your points, all right, in the paragraph 2, in paragraph 3, in paragraph 4, wherever possible, all right, you think you can throw in some correct words appropriately, do so. Okay, let me come to this. Okay, let me give you an example here in paragraph 2. Okay, look at this phrase. This is because the advancements of technology has made information to spread widely in a much more easier way than before. As such, people with suspicious intentions. Okay, look at this phrase, suspicious intentions. I've described the people as people with suspicious intentions. I didn't use a simple word like bad people. Okay, instead I said people with suspicious intentions. Okay, that's a good phrase. Okay, that's a good phrase. All right, and then go on. 2 years ago, numerous. I used the word numerous. I didn't say a lot of. That's another choice of word. I said the news spread massively. Okay, look at this word, massively. I didn't say the news spread fast. I said the news spread massively. So these are simple examples as to how you can use a better word if you know. A better word that is appropriate for what you're trying to express yourself, for whatever you want to relate in the essay. So this is what I mean by good words. Okay, instead of using the simple word, use something else that you think that can be better. Okay, let me see another example if I have for you. Look at this paragraph, the third paragraph. Okay, follow me down. After example 1, the how. Besides, there are social media messages designed to spark fake romantic relationships. Lonely single individuals. Okay, I have described, I didn't say people, just people who are lonely. I said lonely single individuals pining for. Instead of saying looking for, I have used the word pining for. Okay, I can say now this is a better choice of word. So this is how I'm telling you that how you can actually use better vocabulary. Okay, and then I said maybe lured. I used the phrase maybe lured. I didn't say cheated. It may be the same meaning, but maybe lured gives a better message. The message is clearer. It's a better word to use. So this is how you use better vocabulary. So this is, I hope I've answered about how you use good words. Then somebody else asked, if we can choose to, if the question express our opinion, we can choose either to do argumentative or discursive. Yes, the choice is yours. All right, a question giving opinion, like I said earlier, all right, a question asking for opinion. Hold on, not this one. Here. All right, if the question is asking for your opinion, it is how comfortable you are either to discuss the question or to argue it. When I say argumentative, that means you're going to use words very strongly to make the writer believe in you, to agree with you. Okay? All right? Okay, then like I mentioned earlier, question says, I think I mentioned this. All right, number of words. I mentioned it earlier. Write at least 250 words. That's the minimum. But if you want to write more, go ahead. If you think you can write 300 or maybe 350, you don't have the time to count on that day, honestly speaking. But in the exam test pad, all right, I hope you can visualize it. In your exam test pad, if you're able to write 1 page, 2 pages, if you can even write 3 or 4 pages, that means 3 or 4 pages means 2 pieces of paper front and back. If you think you want to do that, you're able to do that in 50 minutes, go ahead. It's how you manage your time. Okay, 250 words is the minimum. There's no maximum here. It's a question. It's all about how you manage your time. Okay, all right. Now let me continue. Now let's recap. What have I done with you all today? What have you learned today? There are 3 types of essays. Argumentative, as what I gave you just now. When I say 2 plus 1 here, I'm talking about the paragraphs. 2 to either agree or disagree, and 1 you either agree or disagree. All right, how you want to do it is up to you. Okay, that is if you partially agree. Okay, you can also totally agree, all right, or you can even totally disagree. It's up to you. All right, in the introduction for an argumentative essay, you always make a stand. Okay, you persuade the reader to agree with you. Thesis statement must be very clear. It's a must. Your 3 clear content points are there in the thesis statement. All right, and then followed by 3 paragraphs, like I showed you just now. Your content points are elaborated well, and you come with a conclusion. That's your argumentative essay. All right, discursive essay, you discuss the given topic, and you write your introduction. All right, you give different perspectives. All right, that means 2 points, 2 plus 1. 3, the thesis statement, your 3 content points are very clear, and you will give 3 paragraphs, 1 for each content point. When you make your conclusion, you make a neutral stand. That means you don't take sides. You just give a neutral stand. Okay. Problem solution essay, you discuss the problem briefly in the introduction. Okay, remember not to get carried away talking about the problem and not giving solutions. Then you are not answering the question. Some people do that. They get carried away with the problem. Like for example, the depression just now. They get carried away and they may say why people get into depression instead of saying how to overcome depression. So if you're going to talk about how to, people who are going into depression, if you're going to talk about the types of depression, have you answered the question? If not, okay. So be very careful. Don't get carried away like that. All right. And thesis statement, 3 clear points, 3 paragraphs, and you give a conclusion. In your conclusion, always reinstate your 3 suggestions that you gave, and maybe you can give a piece of advice or opinion. It's up to you. Okay. Now, like I said earlier, in my slides just now, only 1 paragraph, I think I gave 2 examples. The others I only gave 1 because I did not have enough space. But for a good essay, my advice is for a very good essay, you write 2 or 3 examples for each content point. To do this, you must have knowledge. You must have read well. Okay, you definitely have to must read well in order to write good correct examples. Don't bluff. If you're not sure of anything, please don't write it. Okay, elaborate thoroughly. Sorry, my spelling here. And I left my E when missing. Elaborate thoroughly. Okay, use cohesive devices appropriately. Don't give vague or incorrect statistics. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're not sure of the statistics, don't give. And normally when you provide statistics, you must give the source, where you got it from. You can't just take any statistic from somewhere and just say 90% of the students today go through depression. How do you know? Okay, so don't write vague statements. Don't write, do not write examples that you're unsure of. You're not sure, please don't write. Okay. I need to stress this again. 50 minutes, spend 10 minutes to plan your answer, understand the question, highlight what you're supposed to do, think about the what and the how and the why. This is where you do it. Okay, and make sure you answer what is required. Don't get carried away and write something else. Okay. All right, I think I've come to the end of it. Good luck in your exam, which is only in 2 weeks more. All right, exactly 2 weeks more. All the best. I hope I have made things easier a little bit for you, a little clearer a bit for you, and I hope you're a little bit more confident to write the essay. Okay. And before I end, if there are any questions, you can ask me if you have. I can only see the chat here. Okay. All right. Okay. If there are no questions coming from the YouTube, then I think I'll end my session here today. Thank you very much. Bye.
Cikgu Banusha,
Yeah.
they have one question from YouTube. I already paste on a chat box. Did you see?
You hold on, Fatin. I can't see that. Which one is it? Can you read it to me? All I see here is thank yous.
Alright, wait.
I see all thank yous here.
Can you see?
Hold on. No. It's okay. Can you read to me the question, Fatin? It's okay. Can you read to me then? Because I can't see in the chat here.
Okay, question from YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Tejawini Tanapal asks, what can we do if we don't have any idea, Miss?
Oh, I think I answered that just now. I saw that. Yeah, I answered that. You see, like I said earlier, if you don't have any idea, you can't say you don't have any idea. All right. Whatever question that is asked, all right, it is set in such a way that they know students who are sitting for MUET who are at least 19, 20 years and above will be able to address the task given. Okay, now let's say even if it is 3 points, if you can't come up with 3 points, for example, today you have learned how to write I've given you the body of the essay. You must have an introduction, all right? You must have, hold on, let me just go back to that. You must have an introduction. At least do the introduction. If you can't think of 3 points, even if you can think of 2 points, then go ahead and just give 2 points. It's better than you not writing anything. Okay, of course, 3 points is the writing 3 points is the ideal thing to do. All right, but if you can't do that, you can come up with only 2, which I won't encourage. But if that's all that you can think of at that point of time, then you write 2 points. But at least today you have learned how to write a correct introduction. Give your introduction, your stand, and your thesis statement. All right, follow your paragraphs. All right, accordingly. Okay, follow your paragraphs accordingly. First point in your thesis statement becomes your first point. Second point becomes your second point. Follow accordingly. If you don't have a third point, then you go to a conclusion after that. At least your format is correct. Okay, at least your format is correct. All right, so from now onwards, what I suggest that you do is you go through the past year questions. All right, either the new test format or even the old task format, it doesn't matter. The second question is basically the same thing. You want to look at the kind of issues that have been asked previously in the past. So at least practice writing those from now onwards, Tejaswini. It will give you an idea as to, you know, what kind of questions can be expected. That's my advice for you from now up to the 16th of July. At least you will know roughly the kind of themes that the question normally is asked. Okay, Tejaswini, I hope I have answered your question. Anything else? Okay, if not, good luck everyone. Okay, do your best in 2 weeks' time. All right, that's all for me, Fatih, I think.
Alright, thank you, Cikgu Banusha. Okay, from YouTube, YouTube also don't have any question. Okay, right. Terima kasih diucapkan kepada Puan Banusha di atas perkongsian dua kita sebentar tadi. Minta semua para pelajar untuk isi pautan di bawah untuk kehadiran pada hari ini. Baiklah, untuk makluman para pelajar, program Jom Skor A Ekonomi semester 2 STPM 2022 bersama Cikgu Nanda Kumaran akan berlangsung pada 7 hari bulan 7 Khamis, iaitu pada jam 10 pagi sehingga 12 tengah hari. Untuk pengetahuan adik-adik juga, program STPM semester 2 2022 ini telah pun bermula, iaitu pada hari ini 2 Julai sehingga 23 Julai 2022, manakala program SPM akan bermula pada bulan Oktober 2022. Tidak lupa juga pihak YPC menjemput para pelajar untuk menyertai program Academic and Career Pathway pada setiap hari Isnin dan Jumaat. Baiklah para pelajar, jangan lupa untuk subscribe dan like channel YouTube YPC International College untuk mengikuti seminar seterusnya. Sekali lagi saya ucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada Cikgu Jaspal dan Cikgu Banusha di atas perkongsian yang cukup menarik pada hari ini. Besar harapan kami agar para pelajar dapat mengambil sebanyak mungkin tips-tips yang telah dikongsikan oleh cikgu kita pada hari ini. Jangan lupa untuk janji temu kita untuk program yang seterusnya, iaitu ekonomi. Sekian saja daripada pihak kami. Terima kasih. Jumpa lagi pada program yang akan datang.
Okay, thank you very much for Cik Fatin and YPC and to all students as well. Thank you very much. Yeah, bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.